The rising prices of petrol and diesel in India currently, and so many allegations on current Modi government for the same. But where is the solution to this energy crisis? Why do we have to import petroleum fuels from outside? Last but not the least, why are we still depending on the fossil fuels even after knowing the serious environmental consequences of the fossil fuels? Hello one and all, I welcome you to this lecture in which I shall discuss about the hydropower in India as one of the energy alternatives. In this lecture, I shall discuss about the total potential of hydropower in India and the sustainability of small hydropower. Myself Priyanka Tripathi. I am a research scholar at IIT Guwahati. The lecture content is prepared by Mr. Mohit Kumar and by me jointly. I thank Professor Utpal Bora for the opportunity of this talk. See the total water reserve of India. So about 4% of the world's renewable water resources is contained within India. Apart from this stored form of water resource, India receives an annual average precipitation of 4,000 billion cubic meters. In the figure alongside, you can see the hydrogeological map of India. In this, all the blue patches represent the water resources of India, basically the river. So India is not only blessed with the river basins, various river basins are there located in India, but also it is blessed with seasonal variations, and because of that it receives ample amount of rainfall. So coming to the energy scenario, about 60% of the total energy capacity currently in India is derived from coal, which is a fossil fuel, and fossil fuel has serious environmental consequences resulting into global warming and environmental pollution. Still, we are using coal as our key energy source. Also, the total coal reserve is declining at a very fast rate in order to suffice the demand of the overpopulation. However, India's hydel resources are estimated to be 145 gigawatt, and this much of hydel resources are sufficient to meet up an energy demand up to 85 gigawatt at 60% load factor. To give you an insight about the basin-wise hydropower potential in India, I've included this particular table, which is derived from reassessment studies carried out by Central Electricity Authority of India during the year 1978 to 1987. So, in this table, you can see that the Brahmaputra basin has an energy potential at 60% load factor, that of 10,715, and the energy potential of Indus River is 19,988 megawatt at 60% load factor. So all this data suggests that there is huge potential for hydropower generation in India to suffice the energy demand. Moving forward, India is the third largest electricity generator after China and USA, with total electricity generation of 1598.99 terawatt as of the year 2019. However, currently most part of this electricity is derived from non-renewable sources, which is a matter of concern. The Indian hydropower comprises both large hydropower and the small hydropower, and it ranks sixth worldwide for total hydro capacity. The current installed capacity of hydropower in India is 46,209 megawatt as of July 2021, coming from a total of 207 ongoing hydropower projects in the country. Apart from this installed capacity, around 9,000 megawatt of large hydropower plants are under construction. So, as we have seen the energy potential from hydropower in India, and also we have seen the total water resources of India. So now let us analyze the gap in the energy demand and the energy supply. According to the last complete data, which is available on the website of Ministry of Power, a capacity addition of 8106.15 megawatt was targeted for the year 2018-19. Out of this targeted value, the energy capacity of 5921.755 megawatt was achieved till 31st March 2019. This data includes the thermal, hydro, and the nuclear power, in which the hydropower, excluding the small hydropower, contributed only 140 megawatt. This data suggests that there is need to enhance the energy production from hydropower. I have tried to represent the same energy gap for the 10 years through this graph. This graph is from 2010 to 2020. So now there are two types of hydropower projects running in India mainly, the small hydropower projects and the large hydropower projects. So out of the two, the small hydropower have several advantages over the large hydropower projects. Therefore, please allow me to go ahead with the small hydropower for this particular lecture. Till date, there is no any internationally agreed definition of small hydro. China considers up to 50 megawatt as the small hydropower, whereas USA takes 100 megawatt as the small hydropower. However, in India, small hydropower refers to the hydroelectric projects with capacity generation of less than 25 megawatt. Currently, the small hydropower projects in India are essentially the private investment driven, and this sector is handled by Ministry of New and Renewable Energy, Government of India. However, the large hydropower projects are taken care of by the Ministry of Power directly. So in India, total of 5,415 sites with a capacity generation of 14,305.47 megawatt have been identified by Ministry of New and Renewable Energy for the establishment of small hydropower projects. Out of this, the largest number of sites have been identified in the state of Arunachal Pradesh with a total capacity generation of 1333.04 megawatt. But surprisingly, the richest state with respect to hydropower, small hydropower potential is Himachal Pradesh, which has a lesser number of sites than Arunachal Pradesh, but all those sites together contribute to 2268.41 megawatt of the hydropower. So this way, Arunachal Pradesh has the highest number of sites, but the aggregate energy generation is less in comparison to the Himachal Pradesh, which has a lesser number of sites, uh, which are 547 sites, but these all sites contribute to a greater energy potential. So let us analyze the sustainability of small hydropower. So to establish any business or the projects like the hydropower projects, there is need to analyze not only the profitability of the business or project, but also its sustainability, so that we have the idea about how long can this business or this project go ahead. So the sustainability of small hydropower is basically analyzed on three parameters, which is social acceptability, environmental friendliness, and the economic viability. So coming to the social sustainability, the small hydropower projects are set up on a smaller scales which do not require any rehabilitation or relocation of the local population on the power plant establishment site. So this way it does not disturb the local population uh, in comparison to the large hydropower. Most often the small hydropowers are operated in the runoff river mode or either the canal mode. One another mode of operation for small hydropower is the um, dam toy scheme. So most of it, the small hydropowers utilize the water flow directly without construction of any reservoir on or the dam. Therefore, they do not disturb the local flora and fauna, and this way they do not give rise to any social conflict. Uh, Next one is the environmental friendliness of the small hydropower. So this particular thing is not only applicable to the small hydropower, but it also applies to the large hydropower. Uh, because hydropower generation harnesses the kinetic energy of water to drive the turbines, and these turbines are generated to connected to the generators. This way, they do not utilize any kind of fossil fuels, and thereby they do not contribute to the global warming. Also, the production of hydropower does not generate any serious uh, hazard, environmental hazards such as nuclear or radioactive waste. This way, the environmental sustainability of small hydropower is established. The third criteria of the sustainability is economic viability. So, economically, the small hydropower is more viable as compared to large hydro, as it takes less time and less efforts to be constructed, thereby requiring less initial expenditure. And its development is increasing in the remote areas of India where other sources are not viable or which are not economically attractive. So I conclude this lecture in the following points. India is a developing country which needs one such source of energy which is not only sufficient to meet the energy demands of its huge population for speeding up the development, but also this energy source must be socially acceptable, environmentally friendly, and economically viable. Or, in a nutshell, we can say that this energy source should not be only sufficient, but also it must be sustainable. So, in search of such energy source, the researchers and scientists emphasize on harnessing the enormous water resource of the country for generating hydropower. Coming to the hydropower, out of the two, uh, small hydropower production in India seems to be more promising because it is basically the renewable form of hydropower, which is limited up to only 25 megawatt of energy generation. However, the large hydropower, which targets more than 25 megawatt of energy production, renders the water resources uh, non-renewable for further electricity generation, because after harnessing 25 more than 25 megawatt of the kinetic energy, the water takes a long time uh, to restore its kinetic energy, which could be further utilized for energy generation. This way, large hydropower is somehow a non-renewable form of hydropower. Therefore, there is need to emphasize on the uh, establishment of small hydropower projects over the large hydropower in a developing country like India. So these all are the references that me and Mr. Mohit used for designing this lecture. I wholeheartedly thank all the authors for providing the knowledge in their literature, which I not only utilized to enlighten myself on the topic of hydropower production in India, but also I could dissipate it to the audience. I stand grateful to all the authors for their contribution towards science and humanity. In the end, I thank you all for your patient listening. I thank each one of you on behalf of Mr. Mohit also. We two together thank Professor Utpal Bora for this opportunity of the talk. Thank you so much, sir.